This podcast contains an English accent that most of our Irish listeners will find offensive. Also, there may be some colourful language that you're going to find less offensive. Now, over to Ryan and Leon. Enjoy the podcast.
Testicles, testicles.
Test your balls with testicles.
How's your Primitivo? Is it Primitivo? Primitivo?
Primitivo di Manduria.
Now that isn't a brand of tea.
That isn't now.
No.
A Riporta. What is it? Riporta? Riporta.
Lovely. Tastes good on a summer's evening.
You.
On a Wednesday
that
night.
Juice.
Donabate.
Oh, Donabate. Somewhere a bit more rural.
We're at the city centre.
We're on our holidays.
It's lovely out here, isn't it?
It is a bit more scenic.
Nothing better than like Dublin in the evenings. The nights are getting longer. A bit of red vino.
Nothing better than being in a field eating a charcuterie board. You know, no hustle and bustle.
With a bit of poetry.
With a bit of poetry, yeah. We've moved from the bustling metropolis that is Dublin city centre.
We've done what most young professionals tend to do in Dublin, which is they start in the city centre and then they're working rural Ireland.
We've pulled a Sally Rooney. We're not going to give any more interviews. The podcast is just going to consist of dead silence.
Yeah. What do you think about all that? Sally Rooney doesn't like speaking on telly and doesn't do the radio shows. You can only find her in a literary festival every 4 years.
She's like a leap year, isn't she? She's like a leap year.
She doesn't give a fuck.
Well, you know, she stays out of all that bullshit, which is I respect her for, I have to say. Like, there is a lot of, obviously, when you get to that level of fame, like, she's like what Barack Obama said, that he loved normal people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, when you're on that radar of those people, there's nothing, like, to pull yourself out of, I suppose.
We're going to be talking today, actually, about the bullshit of being online. Because today's show is jam-packed. We've got Spanish poetry. We've got TikTok poetry. We've got a poem about Kim Kardashian's arse. We're letting all the freaks and geeks in.
That's it.
We're going to kick things off, though. So, with our Patreon, we sent out a little package to all of our subscribers who are on it.
A little care package.
A little care package. And included in that was a prompt to write us a poem. And we've got a response. So we wrote to Finn, one of our Patreon subscribers, a guy called Finn Brennan. We gave him a prompt. Write us a poem about friendship. And Finn has come back with a banger.
Can't wait to hear it. I actually haven't heard this yet.
No, I haven't actually read it to you. This is to kick the show off. Finn Brennan with both my friends are scientists. Both my friends are scientists, and I love them anyway. Half the time we talk about music, half the time I don't know what they say. They're both too smart for me. I'm just a schmuck who likes poetry. Both my friends are scientists, and I think about them every day. Both my friends are scientists. I don't understand when they talk shop. My exam results were modest at best. Theirs were always top. Both my friends are scientists. They tried explaining their jobs once. Sometimes they tease me, but I never think they're just a bunch of... Both my friends are scientists, and I love them anyway. But the three of us are all clever in our own little ways.
That was Both My Friends Are Scientists by the delectable new Patreon subscriber, Finn Brennan.
Great way to start the show.
Amazing. So positive. Love it.
Yeah.
A lovely poem to start it off.
It was. I like having mates that do mad stuff.
Yeah.
Different, just totally different things to you. Like, especially when you go to uni, all your mates study the same thing. Yeah. And you probably just have mates at work when you go and get that job, that dream job that you left your small rural village to. You just have mates that do their own job, so it's nice to have a diverse circle of friends.
Definitely. I think it makes it more an interesting life when you've got some mad friends like that. You know? They don't have to be headbangers now. You know, they're not rooting in skips, but
no.
People that are just, they have like something a bit different.
Just something a bit left of centre.
I met a girl once when I was living over. No, not like that. I was living over in Lanzarote, and this, you know, they get a lot of holiday makers, people come over from all over the place, and this girl happened to be from Dublin, and I was like, I'm from, she could tell obviously I was from Dublin as well, and I was like, what do you do? And she was like, I deal with the monkeys in Dublin Zoo. She's like, I teach them sign language.
I deal with the monkeys. I teach them sign language.
Well, you probably have to hear their little shites the way she was going on, so she probably does have to deal with the monkeys. She's not whacking them like I deal with the monkeys.
I deal with them.
She's going around whacking them, you know, looking, you know, like Joe Pesci kind of good
deal
fellas.
with the monkeys.
I deal with the monkeys. No, but she's obviously a zookeeper, but would like teach them like sign language.
Amazing.
That's a daily job.
Unreal.
And she's like, I'll get you in for free. And then I never got her in. It was back in the day when it was like, you know,
where to keep in contact. You just like,
I was just like, oh yeah, I'll take it over. She was like, I
Chelsea
can't remember her name. I was like, oh yeah, just mention my name and they'll let you in. I was like, I don't think that works anymore. I think if anyone just went, I know that person.
What's your name?
They're like, who's this random person coming up here, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting people.
Lanzarote, Spain, Spanish language.
Espanol.
Leads us nicely to a poet that, I have to say, like, this is the good thing about this show. It kind of pushes us to go outside our comfort zone and learn about maybe some of the classical poets that are in different cultures and in different languages.
International people.
International people.
We're going global.
Mr. Worldwide.
Like Pitbull of poetry.
Pitbull is a poet.
Oh, he definitely is. He's a wordsmith.
New York, Miami.
London to Ibiza. Straight to LA, Vegas to Africa. Like Africa. And they will dance the night away. No, I'm not singing all the Pitbull. Africa. It's like paprika, but like Africa.
Oh, was he going with like freak?
Possibly.
You're a freak, baby.
You'll have to ask. Maybe he listens to the podcast.
We'll ask him on.
Pitbull, if you're listening, let us know what you're talking about.
What do you mean if?
He probably is, to be honest. He seems like the man.
Looking for inspiration for his next banger. Underneath
those giant sunglasses, there's a deep soul. There's a sensitive man.
I think you're right. And actually, that leads on to this poem quite nicely. So we were led to this by Leanne, your lovely missus, and she picked up a poem that was originally written in Spanish that was translated to English, and it's about not Pitbull, but how people on the outside might not be how they are on the inside. The kind of the tears of a clown thing, the Robin Williams thing that humans do. The
brightest smiles can have like a lot going on between, you know, behind the eyes and stuff. The brightest eyes will have a lot going behind, you know, behind them, kind of darker things. So, but it's a really, really good poem, isn't it? Like I was delighted that she recommended it for us to do.
Yeah, and going into the story, like, so the writer is a guy called Juan De Dios Peza, and the poem is called Reir Llorando, which I believe is directly translated into English as to laugh while crying. And so that the writer himself, Mexican writer, popular in the early 1900s.
Viva la Mexico.
Indeed, romantic poet. Not much of his work is translated into English, so what you have is like a community of, and I actually really like this, community of people who just really like translating stuff.
Well, actually, speaking of translations, I was at the Dublin Literary Awards last week, and the winner was a Romanian writer, a lovely book called Solenoid, and he had a translator, so it was actually the two of them got an award. Sean Cotter was the translator, and he's from America, and he basically was able to obviously speak Romanian and translate the book into English, and in turn they won the Dublin Literary Award because of obviously the joint relationship.
The relationship that they had.
So translation is important.
No key. No, it's not.
You know,
Google Translate, click a button. You got to get to know
Google Translate. Couldn't even say it. I was so furious. Google Translate. I'm so furious with it. So we need a human on the other end making mistakes like me.
Yeah. Well, you had said originally you were going to read this in Spanish, and I said, listen, that sounds a little bit indulgent. So and even though you were showing, you were doing a bit of a Espanol, and I was very impressed. I have to say, well, you lived in Lanzarote, but you know, that would have made me think you just came with a Northern English accent back home. Like, you know, there's no Spanish.
I make a fabulous
Gran Canaria
Lanzarote chip butty.
Yeah, exactly. Make a great Irish breakfast on your return. But you're gonna give us it, aren't you?
So I'll read the translation. so that our English speaking listeners can obviously have a listen and understand. And if any Spanish speakers out there would like to obviously find it,
they've heard it before.
You have a trove of poetry to go through now, and a fantastic writer to be able to read. So I'll start this off. To laugh while crying. Watching Garrick, an actor from England, the people would say, applauding, "You were the funniest one on earth and the happiest one," and the comedian would laugh. Victims of melancholy, the highest lords, during their darkest and heaviest nights would go see the king of actors and change their melancholy into roars of laughter. Once, before a famous doctor, came a man with eyes so sombre. "I suffer," he said, "an illness so horrible as this paleness of my face. Nothing holds any enchantment or attractiveness. I don't care about my name or my fate. I die living in eternal melancholy, and my only hope is that of death. How many are there who, tired of life, ill with pain, dead with tedium, makes others laugh as the suicidal actor, without finding a remedy for their illness? Aye, how often we laugh when we cry. Nobody trusts the merriment of laughter, because in those beings devoured by pain, the soul groans when the face laughs. If faith dies, if calm flees, if our feet only step on thistles, the tempest of the soul hurls to the face. A sad lightning, a smile. The carnival of the world is such a trickster, that life is but a short masquerade. Here we learn to laugh with tears, and also to cry with laughter.
That was To Laugh While Crying by Juan De Dios Peza.
Juan De Dios Peza.
Juan De Dios Peza.
Oh, what a man.
Sound like Danny Trejo then. A bad Tarantino movie. That was a journey, wasn't it?
It's an absolute saga. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it
An
was.
odyssey.
Yeah, it was. I felt like... I always think about Robin Williams. But like, there's so many people who we're so grateful to have, who are showing up and putting up a show and, you know, making the jokes and being on the films that we watch and being on the stages that we love to be watching. And then, you know, you just never know what's going on behind the eyes. And
have you ever heard of the story of the three faces? So
this is the theatre. Is this the monkey thing?
It's a Japanese belief in the three faces. So the three faces are, there's one face. You go through your life with three faces. So there is the first face, and that's what people see day to day. So people that you might meet in work, people that you might meet in the street, that only see the first glimpse. They have a very limited perspective of you as a person, and that's the first face. And the second face is those who would know you really well, your friends, your family, your partner, people that would know, really, really know as much as they can you, and they would have known you for years, or, you know, very, very well. And then there's the third and final face, and that is the face that only you will ever see. And no one else will ever see that face, and that's the face that you carry for yourself. But it's very interesting, and it makes sense, because when people say, you know, someone succumbs to, you know, whatever, like kind of the darkness, we'll say, and people go, I never knew, because they were so happy and they were so pleasant and so giving and so loving and did everything going for them, but you'll never see that third face, so you'll never really truly know how that person feels.
Always the biggest personalities, aren't they, as well? In my experience anyway. People that I've known in my life that have gone through mental struggles and like more bad times than most, are always like the ones that are the loudest in the room, the biggest clappers, like the loudest laughers. Yeah. There's something in that, I think.
Well, it is, I suppose. Some people are playing a character and they're very, very good at playing that character. Brilliant poem, I think, and
I really enjoyed that.
It really kind of captures that, the sad clown, you know. So there's a great story, and it's about this world famous clown, Pagliacci. And Pagliacci makes people laugh and makes people cry, you know, and this person goes to a therapist and starts talking about the clown, and is like, I feel so awful, and I'm crying so much, and I can't stop. And there's this clown that's in town, Pagliacci, and he makes everybody laugh. The whole room brightens when he arrives, and I just feel so terrible. And Pagliacci is this beautiful character that everybody kind of aspires to be and is really, really happy. And the therapist says to your man, well, why don't you try be more like Pagliacci? And the man breaks down crying and says, but I am Pagliacci.
Huh. Well, yeah, okay. That's on the nose.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. It's actually from The Watchmen. That's what it is.
Oh.
It's Rorschach.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's what it was. Alan Moore. Brilliant graphic novel.
Alan Moore.
That's what it was. I knew it was something along those lines of
I'd like to meet
film.
him.
Mad
Like,
bastard.
you know, you have chats like who would you invite over for like your dinner if you
Yeah.
could? Alan Moore probably.
Does
up
he eat
there.
dinner?
Don't know. He's wizarding. Does he eat food? Don't know. Does he?
I don't know. Like he's created some fantastic graphic novels and that have been turned into films, and he hates every single film that's made. V for Vendetta, he hated it. V for Vendetta is a brilliant film.
Unbelievable movie.
He hated it. Hated The Watchmen.
Ah, stop. Come on.
But like, you know, still
Maybe it's
love
not yours, is it? When it goes into that medium, it's not yours anymore.
Once it's out in the universe.
Poems aren't really ours either. Like, talk about poetry. Like, once you write it, it's not yours. Somebody else's. Alan
Yeah.
Moore, just need to cop on and let people have it.
Stop being such a Pagliacci.
Yeah. Are you ready for some grief?
Oh God,
poetry?
yeah. Oh God, yeah. Give me that sweet grief. I have a glass of wine beside me.
God. I wanted to talk about Whitney Hanson. Whitney Hanson. Have you heard of her?
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Not really. I think most. So the way I knew about Whitney Hanson was I was in the pub one day with a mate of mine, and he knows I like the old poetry, and he was like, "Oh, the missus has bought a poetry book recently. She loves it." I was like, "What she bought?" He's like, "Oh, she bought Harmony by Whitney Hanson." I was like, "Amazing, sounds great. Hope she loves it." Go home, and hasn't my missus bought the same book?
No way.
So it's, I think, like there was like a huge TikTok video that she must have posted out. So Whitney Hanson is a 22-year-old American poet from South Carolina who has amassed millions and millions of views on her poetry videos, and they're all, you've probably seen her without knowing who she is. They're all like very close up, the videos up in your face, very intimate. I feel like sometimes it's a bit like social media is a bit too intimate. Like you kind of wake
Those
up and
ASMR things.
a lover is in your face already. Like, I don't even know who you are. Why are you staring at me like that? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, she's written a lot of, and the poetry is, it's romance, it's love, but it's grief, and it's kind of like, I think she's the vulnerable best friend of a lot of women who like TikTok and social media, and like poetry as well.
But like with TikTok, it's brilliant because like it's popularizing poetry for something that, like, how many people have watched her videos that would never fucking read poetry?
You know what I find quite cool? If you look at her like page, you can see how many people have reshared it. So I think what's happening is she's writing things that people can't articulate, or like haven't been able to articulate, like about love, let's say, or friendship or grief. People are resharing it to people. So you can see, like, you know, that little icon that's like following out of the TikTok page. So more people are doing that than liking it and commenting on it. So people are like taking it and going, please read this, or watch this.
But isn't that what poetry is, though? Articulating
it's
emotions
articulating
that people
emotions that people can't. So look, listen, I mean, you have done a ton of TikTok videos over the years. We wish we were as famous as Whitney Hanson. So I'm not.
Maybe we need to be closer.
Can't be snobby about this.
We need to be closer to the camera.
We need to be up close.
I think I'm too far away. People need to see my nostril hair.
Yeah, you can see Whitney Hanson's individual eyebrows.
Welcome to my poetry ASMR video. You're going to watch me pick my nose really, really closely, whether you like it or not.
Face.
1 million people are going to subscribe to this. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Her but the kind of her poetry story was, she was already writing. She already had an agent. She wasn't really getting much of a gig with the agent, so she self-published her first book, which I think was called Home, and then she started recording the videos, and then she got a contact at Penguin, and then she had to get a different agent to work with Penguin. So like, that's just sometimes how it works. I think now, like, you take that profile and you turn it into like 3 books at 22 years old. I think it's incredible.
22 years of age.
Unbelievable.
What were you doing at 22?
Fuck all. And no, actually, you know, at 22 I was doing an internship at the local newspaper in Stoke-on-Trent.
I was living in Lanzarote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, buzzing.
Selling fucking Jello shots.
Lanzarote's getting a lot of airtime.
It's a popular place. It's a popular place, you know.
I bought the book with me today, Harmony, and Harmony is every poem in here doesn't have a name.
Ooh.
Which is quite beautiful. It should be read in one sitting. It's 250 pages long, but like it's quite short with the pages, and it's a guide to grief. So it's her story of losing a very close friend of hers, and then giving life advice. I think it's life advice through kind like poetry. Like some of the pages are "you'll be okay" kind of poetry, and there's some are like beautifully like rhyming couplets, and like it's really like wonderfully written, and then you'll have one-line pages. So it's just there for you to like kind of go through the journey of grief, from devastation to anger, and then to resolution maybe, which is like not guilty of you having better days than you were before. Yeah. So it was written for those people, which I think is lovely.
And she's fucking 22.
Yeah, the amount of soul from this person, like, and the amount of just you'll know from the poem that I'm going to read, but like she's just a poignant communicator. So yeah, she's very impressive. Like, I think the poetry scene and the literary world get a bit snobby with TikTokers getting published, but fuck you, like, I mean, whatever. Like,
They're just because they're doing really
whatever
well.
way you can.
They've done it by themselves.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
She wrote this poem. Now it is untitled, but this poem is from the collection called Harmony. The heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it has memory, the unconscious ability to repeat what it knows. My heart knows you. It knows the pattern of your breathing and the sound of your laughter. It knows the way your sock-covered feet sound on tile in the morning. My heart knows the look on your face when you're concentrating. It knows the strain in your eyes and the twitch of your nostrils. When you're trying to hold back tears, it knows you as if it has known you for 1,000 years. And although I know my heart will continue to learn you until the end of time, my heart knows that occasionally forever becomes redefined. My fate or mortality or poor timing forever falls apart sometimes. So if mortality takes you, if fate is unkind, if forever falls apart, there are 1,000,000 neurological pathways that spell your name in my heart.
That was an untitled poem from the collection Harmony by Whitney Hanson. Lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be snobby about that.
Of course you can't. Fuck those people that are trying to be snobby about it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's authentic.
And I have to say, after finishing that, I do feel like I know a lot more about how grief affects people. I got lucky. I haven't lost anybody. Really lucky. I went to my first funeral when I was 29. I'm 35 now. Yeah, didn't lose anybody for that long.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like there's not enough chat around how bloody hard it is for people who are suffering from grief. Have lost people who are just, you know, like on the way here, like getting on the train, like, and seeing the amount of people that were at the train station, at the platform. I was looking around, and now I'm looking around going, fucking hell, I wonder who's going through something here that I don't know about.
It always... Do you ever get hit with a moment where you're like that on a train station and you realise every single person has their own life and they're not like NPCs? You know, people like... Because sometimes I think you get caught up in that where you're kind of caught up in your own life and you just think that people are bystanders in your life. But then you think, oh, every single person has a life as long and as interesting and as mad as mine. And, you know, there's how many people they know and like memories they've had. And you go down a fucking rabbit hole sometimes with that. But, you know, it's interesting to kind of think of that. And I suppose it humanises everybody as well.
It's emotional maturity as well. Like, people that think that way aren't the pricks that are leaving nasty comments on YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
Trolls.
Yeah, like it's. I think that's just about like just having a bit of cop on of being self-aware and in tune with people and actually like people.
Yeah.
And genuinely feeling like people are good usually.
People are good usually. Yeah, I think
People are
that as
usually
well.
quite
Yeah,
good.
you're trying to find the good in that, I suppose, as well. Like, but people are. Yeah, it's just a mad. I don't know. It's different. Like, the mad, profound thoughts that come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They creep up on you and they kick you up the arse, and you go, Jesus.
Fuck me.
And then you spend like 10 minutes going, Jesus, what I can't be thinking of these. Imagine you thought those thoughts all the time. That's why last week when I was talking about philosophers, brains exploding. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Because they were thinking about those thoughts all the time.
I don't know where I caught this. Maybe someone told me. Maybe I read a Jordan Peterson quote once. I don't know where I got it from, but I read a while ago that when you have a thought, let it in, but show it the door after 5 minutes. So when something like that hits you, don't go, oh, fucking hell, sing it out, like, you know, shake it off. Go, okay, let's sit down and have a cup of tea, but then give it a time limit and go like, right, well that's it now. You've got to leave, and then you kind of go, like you get to say hello and goodbye to negative thoughts. Quite like that.
There's a great fella, Andy Puddicombe, his name is.
Andy Puddicombe.
Oh, yeah. He set up Headspace.
Ah, brilliant. Love Headspace.
Was a monk for 10 years in fucking Tibet.
Maybe that's where I got it from.
Possibly. But
love Headspace.
Headspace is great, and he talks about thoughts, and he says that imagine you're on a road and cars flying up and down the road are your thoughts. And some people, when you're kind of caught up in it, you're getting into a car, you're going down the road, it's going really fast, you're trying to catch a car, you get into a car, you get out, you get back into another car, you're going up and down. So you're going up and down the road in different cars with different thoughts, and you're racing around, you're so busy with all these thoughts. And he says meditation is basically walking off the road and sitting on a wall and just watching the cars go by. That's really nice, isn't it?
I really like that imagery.
It's like you can't control your thoughts, but you can control how you perceive, how you react to them.
Yeah, whether or not you're on the road or not.
Yeah, let's just get off the road for a minute. Sit down.
Love that.
Have
shit.
a glass of wine.
Love that
bit
shit.
of cheese.
I'm more calm these days on the Calm app, but Headspace was the OG.
Oh yeah,
The OG. I might go back.
Double dip.
Yeah.
You'd be too
God.
calm. You'd be too calm. You'd be melted into the fucking couch.
Yeah. You've got a poem about, I think, one of my favourite cities.
Yeah, I found this poem on Instagram.
Arguably the home of English real culture, maybe.
Yeah,
All of the best stuff from England came out of Manchester, I think.
like it's fucking. He wrote it. Yeah, it's called Manchester. I think he's from Leeds actually. So this is a very new poet and named Joe.
Joe.
You can find him on Instagram. Joe _Spivey.
Spivey.
EY.
Oh, Spivey.
So Joe _Spivey. And check out, got a couple of poems up. Brilliant stuff. But I found this poem again like that through the powers of social media.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And I'm going to read it now. There used to be a rave there. You pointed out with hairy index finger at a window showing overpriced sandwiches and stern faces looking at MacBooks. You looked through the glass like you do when combing through a photo album, pointing out the odd print. Hacienda 1989 was written in pencil on the back of you throwing shapes in a Stone Roses shirt and a faded pair of bell-bottom jeans. GMEX 1990. The Mondays, an 808 state. Your ears still ring from the crowd, chanting wanker at Shaun Ryder. Blur 1993. You on Uncle Alan's shoulders. The night that sweat dripped from the ceiling and Alan's white jeans got coloured with footprints. You smile and turn the page. Christmas 2002. My small head resting on your chest. Both of us sleeping with bottom lip sticking out. Me in Christmas Eve pyjamas. And you in a mustard yellow Fila jumper.
That was There Used to Be a Rave There by Joe Spivey.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he shared it for World Poetry Day, and it appeared in A Up Again magazine,
Hey up.
published by Written Off Publishing.
Oh, nice.
So
Brilliant, yeah.
doing well.
Fantastic.
But there's only a couple of poems on El Joe's Instagram page, but I was chatting to him and he said that he's got a couple in the archives that I said you should definitely put them out there, because poems like that are fucking brilliant, and you can picture everything in it and the way it's snapshots and memories in different times.
That rave culture of Manchester, like 24-hour party people, is one of my favourite all-time movies about the story of Tony Wilson, who is the father of the rave scene of Manchester, and I was literally like taken to that movie.
Really?
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's brilliant. Steve Coogan plays Tony Wilson, who was like a journalist in like Granada TV back in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, and he did Joy Division.
Wow.
Like Shaun Ryder from the Happy Mondays. All that scene was because of him. Mad story about Shaun Ryder. You know, he was on that song from the Gorillaz, Dare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dare.
It's Dare.
He was the head.
Yeah, so he was the head. But actually what was happening was your man from the Gorillaz, Damon Albarn. He took Shaun into the box and he was like, Shaun, tell us what's going on with the music. Can you hear us? And he was like, yeah, mate, I can hear it. And Damon was like, go on. So what's going on? I was like, it's coming up, it's there.
Fuck off.
And then Damon just recorded it and put it at the start and called the song Dare.
That's fucking amazing.
It's coming up, it's Dare.
Do you know what's great?
I fucking love the Gorillaz, and I love Shaun Ryder. And just my last thing on Shaun Ryder, it's so sad to see such a genius lyricist and musician on Gogglebox, celebrity Gogglebox with bears, with people going, who's that fucking like rosy cheeked pisshead on TV? And I'm like, he's a genius.
Yeah.
He is a fucking genius. Happy Monday's a fucking genius.
Yeah, definitely. The great thing about you're saying with the Manchester raves in, if you watch, Chase and Status, they have a song Blind Faith, and if you watch the music video for it, it's done like on an old like camcorder, but it's set in the 90s.
Oh.
And it's like them at a house party, everybody's like smoking like hash, and they're watching stuff on like the big huge tellies with the backs on them, and they go to the pub, and then like there's like a dial-up phone in the pub, and they're like, yeah, we know where there's a location, they're all having points, finish them points, I'm driving, and they're in the car, and then they go to a rave, and it's like, this is fantastic.
Oh man,
you're watching it, you're like, it feels like, obviously it's a choreographed video, but it's fucking brilliant.
Jason State's still doing stuff,
and it's still like,
so I've seen them twice live at festivals. They're Sunbus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think like, but is that gone now? That like buzz of kind of like Chasing Status and Rudimental and those kind of
still going.
Yeah, they are still going, but like they're not really. Are they still culturally relevant, you think?
I believe so.
Yeah,
we'll have to ask the young people.
Maybe I'm the one getting older and not going to the gigs anymore.
We'll have to find some young people and ask them what's relevant these days.
Yeah, sorry, child.
You know
sit with me.
You know the thing in The Simpsons? It's like, I used to know what it was, and then they changed what it was, and now it became frightening. And I was like, no, I have no clue. It's like, and it'll happen to you. It's happening.
It's happening to me.
It's happening to us. Young people wouldn't even get that Simpsons joke now.
No.
Shy bags. They're too busy writing 3 volumes of poetry at the age of 22.
Good.
Fucking making a fortune. Watch The Simpsons instead.
Not like me going to V Festival at 22, dancing to Katie B, getting wankered. I should have been writing poetry then. I'd have been well ahead of the curve.
What poem have you got for us now, Ryan,
so
baby?
I got a poem from Adele Leahy. Adele, I've seen her perform a couple of poems before across like poetry slams. She was at the All Ireland round, I think, that I did a poem at Shin a couple of years ago. Did a poem called Tech Talk.
Oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, I've
really
seen Adele
good.
perform. Adele was actually at the Balbriggan Slam that Kev Kennedy won.
Was she?
She
That
performed.
wasn't long ago. Was it a month or two ago?
That
wasn't even that long.
about a month ago. About a month ago.
Yeah, I think she's a really necessary person in the scene, just by being sound and light. And listen, a banger of a funny poem now and again just cuts through. It was like a nice little palate cleanser now and again, I think.
Cut through all the shouting that usually goes on at spoken word events.
Yeah. And she sent me this, and I hadn't seen it before, and I was like, right, I have to share this. So this one is Adele Leahy with Kim Kardashian's arse. What a sight to behold. She is outrageous, she is bold. She tried to break the internet. She displayed her finest virtue, took the bet. We all marvelled at her rump. I question how she took a dump. The poor girl, what must she do when she really needs a poo? Must take an hour to appear as it travels out her rear. The mighty chasm it has to negotiate. The porcelain bowl it's trying to locate. When at last it sees the light of that poor old sorry shite. It must enter the bowl with glee, then get showered with a wee. Kim's cleaning saga commences as the mile of paper dispenses. Can't leave a trace as she struggles with the race. She has another hour to clean her rear to make the skid marks disappear. Maybe she can install an arse power wash. Wouldn't matter how much dosh. As long as her mighty rear was clean for when anyone next investigates the scene. Or for when she next unveils her arse, as surely brown speed stripes would embarrass. God bless her mighty rear, and her incessant quest for cheer. May her days be filled with glee, but her ass, please let it be.
That was Kim Kardashian's arse by Adele Leahy. You know, I never gave her arse that much credit. I never thought that it was a sentient thing that was having to deal with that.
It was the most viewed image. Isn't it the most downloaded image of like that year it was posted?
Probably. That arse is gone now, by the way. She's on that fucking, what's that thing that everyone's taking?
Oh, the weight loss tablets.
The weight loss tablets, yeah.
Oh,
you should see them all now. They look like they're all on fucking heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Heroin
really
chic is coming back, they've said, from a reliable source.
That's not good.
The reliable source is a glamour magazine I saw on Lidl that I didn't buy, obviously.
Just the front.
But it's coming back.
Heroin
chic.
Chic.
That's what it's called, from the 90s, heroin chic.
Yeah, no,
like
that's
pencils.
the Kate Moss gig and all the skinny ones. That's not very good.
So her arse is dissipated now. It's obviously gone. It's still obviously the largest thing in our body. But our body's not that big anymore.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out not liking those shows? The Keeping Up shows and the...
I don't know.
All them housewives of all that, all the places. The housewives
of Finglas.
Timbuktu, I don't know.
Housewives of Finglas.
Yeah.
Love it. No, I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get into it, to be honest.
No.
I got into I remember in my early 20s, I got into a Geordie Shore kind of thing.
Yeah, we all did, babe.
That was probably the longest run of reality television I watched.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know why it sucked me in though. I was just like,
it was amazing.
Do you ever watch it back now?
Yeah, no, I think I did actually. I
wild.
Got the old dodgy box, and I think I went back maybe a year ago into like the first series of Geordie Shore. Just filth, absolute filth. But it's just horrible to see these young people going through such bad days. Even when they get lucky, it's shit. They're causing some trouble.
But it's funny because like when you're like in your late teens, early 20s, and you're watching those shows, you're like, oh, that's so fucking cool. Like their job is to go to nightclubs and they get pissed and they have fun, and then you watch it when you're in your 30s and you're like, that sounds like awful. Imagine having to go to a nightclub 4 or 5 times a week and you have to take 3 hours to get ready because all the lads are getting spray tans. Like,
no.
You know, they do a few bicep curls, they get fucking spray tan.
Yeah, you have to watch that on the show as well.
They do their hair for about 6 hours.
Well, mate, you're looking well.
Fucking proper Geordie. You know, get some scran into you. You know, it's fucking, I don't know. No. And then you think, that sounds like hell to me now. I'd rather just have a charcuterie board with wine. Yeah,
same. But I am an OG Made in Chelsea fan.
Really?
And I had to stop watching it, basically, because it was just so horrible to watch. Maybe I'm just getting older and softer in my days, but it just felt like every episode was just, one person says one thing to one other person, and then 10 minutes later, oh my god, you hear about that thing that the person said to that person? And then the person that the sentence started with argues with the person that it ended with, and then they just have a fight in a bar. That's every episode of Made in Chelsea for the last 5 years.
Isn't it scripted?
Just
isn't
like,
there's a semi-scripted.
Well, I don't. I'm not.
I don't want to give away company secrets.
I'm not here for that. When I loved it, I was like, it is real.
It's fucking real. It's like wrestling.
Yeah,
it is real.
It's real.
Slightly scripted,
really
but it's real.
Each other.
They really put each other through tables and give each other crippler cross faces. And I'm not talking about wrestling.
But like now, like in Ireland, especially Ireland now, like Spencer Matthews has become quite like a popular person in Irish culture. Obviously, he's married to Vogue.
Podcast as well.
He's here in his popular podcast. I remember watching him in season 1 of Made in Chelsea being the dirtiest scumbag on TV, and I was celebrating and cheering him on like I was at a football match.
No way.
He'd be on episode, like, again, talking shit about, like, some lass that he didn't like, but he rode her anyway, and I was like, yes, big boy, go on, Spenny boy, fucking Spenny boy, let's go, mate.
Don't say things like you'd be getting cancelled now if you're saying your 21-year-old self has been cancelled, but the 35-year-old be alright.
I'm saying that I don't watch it anymore, but I have to say,
You've given it up cold turkey, or did you cut yourself off, wean it off like
to be a bit cute actually and tell you, me and my mother would have watched it like. And
but she cheered and Spenny Boy on as well. Go on, my fucking son.
Like since I moved away, we kind of kept it going and chatted about it. But like now, I said to my mum, it's shit now. We have to watch something else. So I think Love Island's out next Monday, and I'll be in England. I think we might pick up on a bit of Love
Which the one that Gemma Collins was? Is that The Only Way Is Essex?
That's Towie, yeah.
Right, she's a gem. I love Gemma Collins. She's so funny.
What did she say? What's her?
You bastards can't pay my mortgage. And then she falls. Did you ever see her falling through the stage?
No.
Oh man, you need to Google that video.
Yeah.
Her falling. She got fucking loads of it. She was at like an award ceremony, and the stage like was faulty, and she went through the fucking stage.
So for her falling on Dancing on Ice is quite funny.
My hair is all frazzled. She's
on the GC, babe.
She is a fucking millionaire, and she deserves every penny.
They all bloody do. All the Hunzos, the Kerry Katonas, Katie Price. Listen, whatever way you want to make your money, I'm not here to judge.
Do you know what I mean? We'll have our real up close poetry ASMR. Waking up, people are going to wake up and get frightened.
Is that your route to success?
Listen to me eat this cracker while I'm eating this cracker. Really,
I think your voice goes quite down. That's what I heard on the old podcast. Look for your messages in.
You should hear me eating crackers. We'll hear this back. That's the money maker there. We'll be millionaires.
There's no agony aunt today, but we have some very exciting news.
Juicy news.
Really fun, exciting stuff. So we've teamed up with the guys at the Poetry Edit, who run a lovely newsletter of poetry for opportunities for writers, collabs, stories about poems, guests on. A gorgeous thing they've got going on. And we're going to run a competition through the Poetry Edit. So it's going to be a submission-based competition where we're going to ask people to send poems through the Poetry Edit to be submitted to us, with the winning prize being a featured slot on the show. We might even bring you on, who knows, but we talk about the poem, we'll share the poem, and who knows, a few people listen to this, so it might be a thing.
We have another announcement as well, don't we?
Tell me.
We're quite big in a certain country.
Oh no, we actually we are. Well, we've kind of mentioned that our home is Stockholm before.
You know, people say big in Japan. Fuck Japan.
Meatballs and that berry that they all eat.
The Nordic countries is where it's
Lagenberry?
The Lagenberry.
Is that what they eat in Sweden?
The Lingonberry.
Lingonberry, sorry, the Lingonberry.
You've been to IKEA lately. Get some Lingonberry juice.
That's right. We are in the top 100 podcasts in Sweden.
Most popular,
sorry, yeah.
The 100 most popular podcasts in Sweden. So shout out to fucking Sweden.
Go on, the Swedes.
Next time the Eurovision's on, I'll be voting for Sweden.
Yeah, same. The first email we got was from Sweden. The first freebie we got was from Sweden. Something's going on, pal. We're going on tour, baby.
We're going to have to jump across the water to Sweden.
Yeah.
Get some lingonberry juice from the tap.
I have been. Have you been before?
I've never been to Sweden.
I've been, yeah.
But you never say never. Not because I didn't want to. I'm just saying.
Well, listen.
You know?
It's on the cards.
Stockholm, we have to.
Bit pricey. We might need a few Patreon subscribers to pay her for having.
Make it a nice Swedish sugar daddy. If the boss of IKEA is listening,
yeah,
you might be able to fly us over on a few Allen keys.
So yeah, thanks Sweden.
You little gems.
Little rides, yeah.
Yeah. Competition.
Yeah, the competition. So what we'll do, we will head over, the way you apply, head over to Instagram and go and follow the Poetry Edit. That's what they are on Instagram. And they will have all the details on how you submit work. Guidelines, 40 lines maximum. No prompt, no theme. So whatever is on your mind, what is in your heart, get it out to them. They're going to submit to us their 3 favourites, and we're going to judge them and throw the best one that we think on the show. That's fun, isn't it?
Terribly fun. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to get all the submissions of and read them, and it's gonna be great. I love it. And it's also an opportunity for people to get, we get to gush over different poets that we might not have.
Yeah,
might be on our register.
And this could be an opportunity if you're thinking about writing and you haven't. It's on them. It's on the wall.
And the Poetry Edit's a wonderful place as well to check out, and they've got loads of things going.
Yeah, loads of opportunities for writers. Great collabs they've got going on. The newsletter's lovely. So go and check them out anyway. But yeah, the competition will be ran through them. So give them a follow and subscribe to the newsletter, and all the details are going to be on the newsletter. So give them a subscribe.
There you go.
That was fun.
That was very fun.
That was a really fun episode.
Oh, I had so much fun.
I really enjoyed that. But we talked about grief and like clown syndrome and Kim Kardashian's arse. So what else do you want today?
That's the Poetry Dead podcast, baby. We covered all bases. We're a full spectrum.
Yeah, we went
emotions.
around the houses. Well, listen. Send us emails. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway, email address is the poetrydeadpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on the TikTok. Follow us on the Instagram. Keep us up to date with what is going on in your lives, ladies and gentlemen.
We want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you and what's happening. But as always, thanks for listening. Leon, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore, Ryan, baby.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week, my darling.
Ciao, ciao.
Time for this fucking cheese.